Justice Department bureaucrats doubling down on overreach, and this time going after small Virginia IT firm called Elegant Enterprises and forcing them to settle for the maximum penalty under the law, not for discrimination against foreign workers, but for letting an AI-generated job ad identify visa holders as their preferred applicants in a country where American workers are already getting the hose by the government and the red tape and the broken labor market. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the DOJ, Harmeet Dhillon, is sending all the warnings to the employers. She joins us now. Ma'am, how are you going to police all these AIs, though? I mean, these are electronic programs that have no supervision, that evolve in seconds.
Well, look, my job is to look at the evidence that comes into us and put a stop to what I see. I'm not omnipotent, and I can't certainly deal with every single issue. We try to take aim at the most blatant offenses and then make examples out of those people. Now, I will say that the current federal maximum penalty for these types of offenses is under $5,000 per ad. Congress could certainly help me do my job by increasing those penalties, but we are going to be coming out with some cases that are really going to open people's eyes as to the sneaky and shady methods that employers use to evade our law enforcement. So I do rely and welcome the public sending me examples. I don't want your hunches. I want examples and evidence, and we will run with those.
Sure. I mean, look, I applaud. This is fantastic, because if even one American worker is getting hosed, then, it's got to be done. But you've launched investigations now also into 3 Michigan public school districts to determine whether they have included sexual orientation and gender ideology content in any of their grades K through 12. What is going on here?
So this is Michigan law, and we found these 3 school districts that are actually forcing 11 and 12-year-olds to sit through this indoctrination without informing their parents. And under Supreme Court precedent and longstanding precedent, the parents have an absolute right to be notified of this type of sexually charged content and opt out of it. And actually, I remember this dating back to when I was a kid in middle school, and my parents, my dad's a doctor, he said, look, the birds and the bees are going to be told by mom and dad. So they opted my brother and I out of that, and I'm glad. And that's how every parent should have a right in the United States. And that is being violated in Michigan, so we're going to put a stop to it.
Yeah, you've also joined a lawsuit against this radical and racial discrimination in Los Angeles public schools over the predominantly Hispanic, Black, and Asian and other program in 2025. Do we still have programs like, this is crazy. This is 2026, and we still have programs that are expressly denying white people?
We have them. I will tell you that through our work at the DOJ, we're aggressively putting an end to that stuff. I'll give you one example. Just today, I closed an investigation into the Minnesota Hennepin County District Attorney's Office, which had a policy that had blatantly race-based plea agreement for sentencing, and that's illegal, and they withdrew that. And we sent a letter to them concluding our investigation today because they backed down. And in this case, similarly, we're taking on this decades-old situation where Los Angeles County penalizes school districts that have a lot of white people in them, white students, and they benefit all of these other minorities. That's illegal. Everybody in the United States is entitled to equal protection, and we're putting the force of the federal government behind that. Yeah,
it was actually widely accepted for the last 4 years to discriminate against white people, apparently. According to reports, though, 2 separate incidences. Jasmine Crockett's campaign had even once called the police on a CNN reporter and then escorted an Atlantic reporter off the premises at a campaign rally. Now, I'm thinking this has to be in your purview, because the left went bananas when one person got banned from the White House for saying something that was factually incorrect. Jasmine Crockett is literally banning people in the press from reporting on her.
Well, look, I don't know the details of that. I wasn't prepared for that particular question, but I will tell you there's a distinction between the White House, which is the people's property, and there are court rulings that say that that is a limited purpose public forum, where I do not know whether Jasmine Crockett's rally was private or on public property, and that would make a difference as to whether the time, place, and manner restrictions of the First Amendment would apply. Yeah. No, that's a fair point, but it just seems crazy to me that they criticized Trump for doing that on the White House, as you pointed out. Limited forum, and she's out there doing the same thing. Maybe. Well, she's definitely a hypocrite, but whether it's a First Amendment issue is a different question. Yeah, well, Harmeet Dhillon, I applaud everything you're doing over there. Keep it up, because you're rocking and rolling.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.